Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Syed Azus Ali, and with me is your co-caster for the day, Mythica.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, so that was Mythica being very humble, saying a casual hi to everyone. So before we proceed any further, I would like to talk about this venue, this tournament that we've been representing, EFEST 2020. And Mythica, I think it would be a very big understatement to say that it has been a success. It's been a phenomenal success. We've had over 1,000 participants for this tournament competing in a variety of different games, and this was brought to you by no one other than Pakistan's first Esports Academy. Talking about EFEST 2020 just a bit more, like to talk about how Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the amazing game, the game that our entire community loves to hate and also loves, but the game's been finished. The finals are now over. We've crowned a champion there. Dota, similar situation. Amazing games happened. We were able to crown a champion there as well. And if my memory serves me correctly, as it usually does, we had a tournament for Tekken over the weekend as well. And a very prominent personality was participating in that tournament, and that was Arsalan Ash. And Mythica, I feel like no surprises there. We all knew who was going to be the winner going into that one, right?
Definitely, I agree. Our son has been phenomenal and he performed amazingly as well in this tournament.
Yeah, Arsalan, he went to the international stage. No one knew who he was outside of Pakistan. And I'm pretty sure now people will never forget that name. But yeah, coming back to our Esports Academy, this EFEST that we're a part of, I think a huge shout out, Mythica. It has to go to the sponsors that we have had. So, to the name a few, well, first of all, we all get hungry. We all like that fried chicken. We all like those crispy wings. Yeah, you guys guessed right. I'm talking about KFC. We've handed out a lot of vouchers over the past few days. I'm pretty sure I've seen some screenshots, some pictures of some fans coming in Mythica. People devouring those KFC deals coming out. So, and I also think that this was also one of the first and one of the most prominent brands to support esports within Pakistan who aren't really tech related.
Yeah, I mean it's actually surprising seeing KFC being a sponsor in a gaming event in Pakistan. It's definitely something new and something we never expected. But Esports Academy, they've shown us that they are here to do the impossible that we never thought of before.
Yeah, we were not going. We were. Yeah, this hasn't happened before, and I'm glad that this did, and I hope that other brands they follow as well, and they realize the opportunity that esports is and how it's growing the growing market within Pakistan. Going on, we also have Texanware. It's a local shop here in Karachi. Their computer technology, the specs that they sell, they're amazing. They're also supporting a lot of streamers here within Pakistan as well with their technology. So a huge shout out goes to Texanware. I think Mythica, you used to be sponsored by them at some point, or am I wrong?
Yeah, I was. Texanware has been especially generous towards streamers, players, and anyone that's related to gaming in general. They have been supporting the local community a lot, and they're showing it again by doing so with eFest.
Yeah, that's true. They're doing an amazing job. And on the other hand, how can we forget the Global Esports Federation? They're doing an amazing job. They're promoting esports within Pakistan and in general within the Southeast Asian region. And, we've got a surprise appearance for you guys as well. We've got Kelvin Tan, the man himself, the director for Global Esports Federation. He's here right here with us, and we have an interview with him as well. Calvin, how are you, my friend?
Hi guys, it's very happy to join you guys to speak to the Pakistan community. Love to talk to you a bit more later.
Yeah, Calvin, that's not going to happen later, but we're going to do it right now. I think I've personally been waiting for this opportunity to be able to talk to someone, who's in your position. And our community loves to hear from people like you. So, before we go any further, let's introduce the Global Esports Federation to the audience a little. Can you tell us about what the Global Esports Federation is? What is your primary objective?
Right, so thanks. When we talk about Global Esports Federation, I think we usually talk about the values because we are a values-based organization that promote equality, fair play, diversity, inclusion, and innovation. Right. About a year ago, when we started off, we saw the opportunity to encourage and support the development of esports community and the connection between esports, virtual sports, and traditional sports. Right. So we see ourselves as a platform that convene everything, the whole ecosystem of esports, players, athletes, developers, publishers, and even industry partners and sports organizations. So the vision is, of course, to that in the future we'll see a more safe and inclusive and healthy esports ecosystem that can celebrate and inspire youth. Yeah.
That's great to hear, Mythic. I think you had something that you wanted to ask, Calvin.
Yeah, I actually wanted to know what your plans were for the future. What does Global Esports Federation have planned?
Right. So a quick reflection on what we did for the last 12 months. Over this year, we officially became 1 year old on 16th of December. And over these 12 months, we celebrated 67 member federations and also have signed more than 110 partnerships with
Oh, wow.
strategic partners, with international sports federations and UN agencies. So we are very grateful, of course, that of these relationships and confident that these partnerships will help us drive the vision, right? So let's talk about the future next year, 2021. With all conditions met, we because we know everybody's now we know about the pandemic and how badly it has changed the landscape of esports for us. With all the conditions met, we will be holding our first global games in December, and this is a
Okay.
world championship that will allow gamers to compete for glory, representing their country, and
Okay.
all the global esports federation members can send their national teams to um, support and join and participate in this championship, right?
Okay.
We've also because of the World Connected series that we have just recently ran, that included some of the what we feel in the neglected regions of the world. You know, South Asia, for example, South America, for example, Africa, for example, where
Yeah.
commercial events would likely not um, choose those regions, you know, to run their big events or big projects, right? We decided that World Connected series has to include everybody and make sure that the world is really connected, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And next year we also would continue doing our building up our PDEC, which is the Publisher and Developer Council, and that is basically is currently in development. The PDEC is a council that we welcome all publishers and developers to join us and act as an advisory council to the GEF board. And it will discuss many topics. And one of the important topics which all the countries are actually interested is how to facilitate licensed events in all
Yeah.
some of these nations, right? Because we know that a lot of event organizers or national federations that are working on esports always have difficulty talking to publishers, getting the rights, getting permission to run big events. And this is something that the PDEC would go on to after developing and after trying to get all the publishers to join would be a topic that we discuss. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, of course, please look forward to some of the programs and initiatives that we will run next year.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
actually very impressed by that.
yeah,
Especially the part where you said that you're focusing on regions that haven't been focused on before, such as South Asia and North America. Sorry, South America and stuff. So that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
yeah, Calvin, we're really
Yeah.
looking forward to what your organization has in store for us for the next year, and especially when this pandemic, this virus starts to go away, and I feel like we're going to have some more LAN events coming up. So, talking about that, the global championship. Just an observation that I had sort of looks like it's modeled after the Olympics in some capacity.
Um, I think we will not say that we are copying.
No,
Of
no.
course, Olympics is a very, very big machinery, and we're definitely not there yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Our idea is that each nation that is a member of GEF would be able to send a national team, and the national teams would compete for a medal,
Also,
right?
like national
Yeah,
representation. Yeah.
yes. And this way, it allows the national federations, each of the national federations, to be able to build, maintain, retain a national team, and also obviously hopefully that allows them to request a bit of government funding to help them maintain the team and build. And having a national team allows them to have a collegiate system where the younger blood can actually fit into the national team, so it actually helps them plan out a full developmental system for their country.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting, and it's really,
Mm.
giving an infrastructure for the youth to be able to have somewhat of a direction to get their career going, where they know what the end goal is and where they can start from. So that's very exciting. So moving on, what we wanted to ask you was, how do you see the esports academies initiative within Pakistan? I see these guys are doing an amazing job, but what are your thoughts on it?
No, I mean the Esports Academy is doing an amazing job, of course. And every time when a country asks me what can they do to develop esports, I always have one and two advice for them. And my usual advice is that they should focus a little bit on education, which the academy is fitted to do. Because there are two things. One is that when the young or the youth, when they go online and look at their heroes play and win championships, they aspire
Mm.
to be them, right? So their first impression is that to be good at a game, we have to play many, many hours a day,
Yeah.
train and train and train. And of course, that is given. But they should also look at the life of an actual professional athlete that has many different things other than just playing the game, right? They also have things like what we call sports science, things like the knowledge of nutrition, for example, mental conditioning, for example, physical exercise, for example, things that they should include in their practice and training regime. And this is the knowledge that I feel that the aspiring gamers do not have, and that's why I think that the education for that is very important. That's number one. Number two is that while everybody is trying to be a pro athlete and trying to win his next tournament, um, there are of course people who fail to do that, right? And one way is to provide this knowledge that even if you fail to become a professional athlete of your dreams or become the top player in the country, there are also many things around the esports ecosystem that you can get involved with. For example, event management, broadcasting, online, being an online on-screen talent like yourselves. You know, these are all things that actually evolve. So you're not actually out of the esports ecosystem, and your career has not ended. You can still maintain in the ecosystem and still participate and become a professional in the industry itself. So these are things that I really encourage national federations and also institutes like the Esports Academy to promote and to build and develop programs for it.
Yeah, I agree
Mm.
with you that on that note, especially, I feel like, people, especially young children, since they're so impressionable around the ages of 13, 14, when they start to get into gaming industry, they see, the Olafs of the world or the Simples of the world, and they see that, we don't need a proper school education. We can just become pro gamers.
Mm.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That is a very risky way to be planning your life ahead, especially only so less people get into that spotlight. So I completely agree with you there. Uh, yes, Mithika.
Yeah, so what I wanted to know was, what do you think of the vision that Pakistan's first esports academy has at the moment?
I think it's great that the Pakistan Esports Academy has the will and the direction to promote and develop esports. The EFEST initiative is a great one, and congratulations to them for being holding a very, very successful event, especially with the inclusion of the commercial partners. I saw a few activations online, which is very interesting, and they give a lot of ideas and um, kind of a case study to people outside Pakistan, you know. and I look forward to more initiatives from the academy.
Yeah, we hope that the academy keeps doing the amazing job that they're doing, and we
Mm.
also hope that the supporters, these big brands, that they can keep commercially supporting us and the academy and what they're doing. So you're in a global esports federation. You've seen this across different regions, across different areas. You're talking about the subcontinent, sorry, the Southeast Asian region, then also in
Mhm.
Africa. So what do you think, how should a country whose government isn't really that invested into esports promote the esports culture within their country? Like, do you have a roadmap, or do you think there are specific indicators, specific things that such a country or such an organization can do?
I think um, for countries where they do not recognize esports, um, of course, there must be some reasons the government do not want to go ahead. And active conversation would help. The national federation should have active conversation with their National Olympic Council or their Ministry of Sport. Even before they get recognized, I think the national federations or institutes should look at uh, charting out the system, the developmental system for esports in their country, looking at the pro and the semi, and then of course the collegiate level. How do we connect all three levels? Whether is there a promotion system or something like that. Number two is of course the education, which I've mentioned just now. Um, Being active with um, teaching gamers how to um, play, or when should they play, or what kind of career path can they look at if they are very interested in esports, is very important. Secondly is to focus on also profiling gamers. Profiling as in
Hmm.
writing about them, interviewing them, bringing them out into the limelight. Because end of the day, the heroes and the people who benefit are supposed to be the gamers, right?
Yeah,
And the community is
definitely.
always the backbone of every sport. So you definitely need to take care of the community, and you definitely need to show examples of successful cases, successful stories of athletes, and this is a good way to start at least, you know. And then of course having an active conversation with your national Olympic council would help you. Yeah, and guess as time goes and as you see more and more major sporting events include esports, then maybe some of the countries or the governments of the countries would feel a need to look at it seriously. For example, the inclusion of esports in the next Asian Games in Hangzhou.
Yeah.
That is a very good example that to show to tell a government that look, the esports is being included. We better look at having something, some form of esports initiative or programs in locally. Yeah.
Yeah, Calvin, I completely agree with your assessment there, because I feel like the first step to promoting anything, or to raise awareness about anything, is to increase the dialogue that happens in the different countries and the institutions that exist within the country. So once there's awareness there, so then I feel like this is a force that can't really be stopped, because it's happening, it's in the scene, it's happening globally. Athlete visas are given to esports professionally all across the world, especially within America, according to my knowledge. And on the other hand, once this can happen and we have that infrastructure in place, so there's nothing stopping from countries like Pakistan producing world-class athletes within the
Yep.
esports region, as we already are in the other
Yep.
region. Calvin, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure for me personally to hear about your insights and the plans that you have for our region, especially, and for regions across the world and esports. Any comments, anything that you might like to add towards the end?
No, I want to thank Pakistan Esports Academy for inviting me, and I'm happy to share. And I'm happy to come back again and talk to the Pakistan community again anytime soon. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Calvin. We would love to have you anytime soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So that was Kelvin with us. From what the production is telling me, I think we're going to be going to a break pretty soon. So we're going to transition back from that in a little bit, and we're going to have the Valorant finals with us after that. So, guys, don't go anywhere. It's going to be an exciting final, the final stream and event of EFEST 2020. You guys do not want to miss this. See you in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, we are back with you. My name is Aziz Ali and मेरे साथ हैं मौजूद मिथिका. सारे लोग जानते ही होंगे कुछ ना कुछ. So you know, before any other further delay, let's get into it. Let's get into the nitty gritty of what we have today. Finals for Valorant. They're going to be played today, and we have some two very outstanding teams today. But before that, you know, let's get to what you guys are here for. Mythica, I've heard there are some giveaways today.
Of course there are. So first off, we are going to be having our EFEST hoodie giveaway. Who doesn't like hoodies in winters? So yeah, we are gonna be moving to the hoodie giveaway. This is the hoodie. You guys can see it on the stream. It looks very cute. I would definitely grab it if I could, but I can't sadly. But you guys definitely have a chance to do it. So
Yeah, so before I'd love to tell you how you can get your hands on that beautiful hoodie, Mythica. I feel like you were underselling that just a little. That hoodie looks really cool. So to get that hoodie, what you have to do is you have to go to this live stream. You're already here, so good luck with that. Share the live stream. You know, give it a nice caption, comment under the live stream. Tell us what you love about EFEST. Tell us what you love about the casters. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know Mythica. You know, share a funny story about her, or share an interesting fact about Mythica, whatever, any interaction you might have had with her. And that is how you get to be able to win that hoodie. And on the other hand, how can we forget KFC vouchers, guys? Vouchers time. I know a lot of people are already streaming and, you know, spamming in the chat that they want one of those KFC vouchers. So keep spamming. We are going to be selecting more people for those KFC vouchers. I think Mythica is going to have that very important responsibility. She's going to point to 5 to 10 people within the stream, and you guys are going to get those KFC vouchers.
yeah, so basically we will be giving away 10 KFC vouchers to 10 different people that comment the most interesting things in the chat. Basically, it could be anything in support of the team. It could be something related to Pakistan's first Esports Academy, or anything that you see on a regular tournament Twitch chat. So the most interesting comment definitely takes away the voucher. So yeah.
Yeah, so I was able to add a few comments in the section as well. Mythica, you know, if you see Sayed Ali anywhere there, be sure to give that pretty man a KFC voucher. Guys, Valorant, the finals, they're here. You guys have been with us through this long journey. We went through the group stages. We had some amazing semi-finals coming up. On one side we had a lot of competition going on the other side it was a bit of a whitewash. But to tell you guys what is on the line at the end of this very long and tedious road, I might add, that's a prize pool. And that's also the first place finish that these two teams today are going to be competing for. That prize pool is for 60,000 rupees for the first place finisher. So that is a huge prize pool coming in for the first spot. On the second spot, we'll have 20,000. That's a spot for the runner up. And I'm pretty sure none of these teams today they want to be on that position at the end of the day. And the third and fourth places we've already have them decided, and they did not go home without, they didn't go home empty handed. They still had 10,000 going to each of their names. So Mythica, the prize was already there, but on the other hand, the pride is on the line today.
I agree. I mean, we do have two of the best teams in the country right now with us that are going to be playing the finals. And I mean, I think the majority of the audience is here in support of ZEN2 because they have been very dominant before in the Valorant scene. But Flex is no less. I've seen them competing always in the top three at least. So it's going to be an interesting match. And I was very surprised to see Flex coming out on the top after the semifinals. So this should be an interesting match.
Yeah, definitely, Mythic. I think we're all looking forward to a very interesting game today. A very exciting game coming out from these two teams, and I hope that it can go all the way. You know, we get to see that third game coming out, that third important decider game. It has mostly been eluding us throughout this tournament. Games getting decided by the second game. But if we look at their lineup right now, we have that lined up for you beautiful people. Flex versus ZEN2. On the Flex side of things, we have Archie, Onhead, Frebic, Protagonist, and Bally. These five guys, I've seen them playing, I've seen their matches, and these are people that you cannot be messing with. Onhead, as his name says, his aim is always going to be on your head.
I'd like to add in the fact that Onhead has taught every single player in Pakistan how to play.
Oh, wow. So yeah, I did not know that, and I hope he can teach me how to play as well. But on the other hand, let's talk about Zen 2. Everyone already knows about these guys. They've dominated every team that they've come across in this tournament up till now. So is Flex going to be able to pose a challenge to them or not? We're going to see that happening today. But the lineup had King among other players. But let's move on from that. Mythic, I'm pretty sure you know their lineup by heart by now.
Zentus,
Yeah, yeah, Zen 2.
of course I do. It is Storax, Shooter, King, Pokemon, and last but not the least, we have Gunner.
Yeah, Gunner coming in, and that is a very strong and scary lineup, if I might add myself. If you're on any random day, if you're playing a pub and this lineup it comes against you, so yeah, I'd rather not waste time and quit the game already. But Flex, they don't have that option going in today. They're going to have to play this very scary lineup, and I hope that they end up coming up on top. I'm always rooting for the underdog in this situation. I want Flex to show us something interesting. I want Flex to pull out that strat book to see the depth that they have on these different maps with the agent pool that they're going to be running. But before that, let's give our audience a bit of a recap. For first, we're going to talk about Flex and their group stage journey that we've had. Yes, from the group stage coming in, Flex in their first few games, and that 13-13 scoreline and 5-10-13, the enemy, their opposition, they didn't really have much of a chance except for VRN. VRN really took them to the distance and dropped one game against them. But aside from that, they looked pretty comfortable going into most of the games. And on the other hand, Zen 2, their group stage was a completely different story, Mythica.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of expected from a team that has been winning every possible tournament in Pakistan. So, I mean, it's kind of expected. I did expect to see them in the finals and with these amazing scorelines as well. But Flex,
Yeah,
they've been doing pretty well themselves. They've been playing really well in their group stages matches.
yeah, definitely Flex. They were surprising some people, people who didn't expect them to do as well as they were doing. But Zen 2, man, we were expecting them to dominate, but not like this, though. Like 13-3, 13-3, and a 13-3 coming out from them throughout their matches. On the other hand, we've got the semi-final results now coming in for you, beautiful people sitting at home looking at the stream. You guys want to know how these people got here? Well, we've got you covered. Zen 2, they had I was able to cast that series between them. Zen 2 just dominated that semifinals, man. 13-4 on the first map, and then 13-9. Oh, sorry, 13-4 on the second map, and then 13-9 on the other map that they were having, Haven. They just dominated, desecrated, destroyed. I'm running out of adjectives for what they did to Raptors. On the other hand, Flex, they were taken to the distance. They had to compete. And on the first map that they picked, Icebox, it was somewhat of a risky pick coming out from them. But Archie, their team captain, he was pretty confident. He said, "We didn't have any strats planned. We just wanted to see what happens when two teams are playing on a neutral map." So I thought that was very interesting coming out from the captain. But that shows their confidence that they're not worried to go the distance on a new map in the semifinals. And that's what showed. At the end, they were able to close out that series pretty comfortably.
Yeah, that is true. Well, we will be moving on to the brackets now that we had this entire series. I mean, we did see that Zen2 played against Raptors in the semifinals and Flex played against Salt. I'm actually very surprised to see that Flex um, won 2-1 against Salt because Salt itself was a pretty dominant team as well in the previous tournaments. But Flex, no less. Although I didn't get to see them that much in the previous tournaments because I'm not sure, but they weren't really participating that much, I suppose. But it's interesting to see how far Flex has come so far. And ZEN2, I do have to point out the fact that Raptors is a new lineup completely, I believe. And I was surprised to see that 13-9 scoreline. I'm kind of jealous of you, Ali, that you got to cast that match. I really wanted to watch that, to be honest. I wanted to see how it even got to that 13-9 scoreline. It's interesting, to be honest. Like, that's the sort of match that I want to watch, honestly. I hope that we get to see something similar to that in today's game. And yeah.
Yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be, we're going to see how that happened. And before that, let's move on to a bit of the highlights for Flex Esports. We've got a bit of the journey covered for you beautiful people here. So without any further delay, let's get right into it. Plant किया जा रहा है. डिफेंस रेड इन पोजीशन 3v3 सिचुएशन बन चुकी है. फ्लिकर इस वक्त कंप्लीटली ब्लाइंडेड है और हेवन के ऊपर एक प्लेयर पुश कर चुके हैं. एचपी काफी ज्यादा लूज करते हैं लेकिन दूसरों तरफ से अटैक्स आते हैं और अनफॉर्चुनेटली प्रोटैगनिस्ट यहाँ पे पहुंच चुकी है. 1-on-1 सिचुएशन. प्रोटैगनिस्ट के पास एंगल है. जेट बहुत लो है और इस तरीके से प्रोटैगनिस्ट अपने राउंड की 3rd किल लेकर, लेकिन एंगेजमेंट हो चुकी है. पहली किल लेने में कामयाब. उनको बैकअप करने के लिए प्रोटैगनिस्ट, और हमने देखा था कितने अच्छे तरीके से उनकी रोटेशन आई थी, लेकिन साथ ही साथ अटैकर 2 किल लेने में कामयाब हो जाते हैं. फ्लेक्स यहाँ पे 1v3 सिचुएशन बन चुकी है. एबिलिटी तो है उनके पास मौजूद है, सब कुछ मौजूद है. और आर्ची कैस्पर को कैच आउट कर लेते हैं, लेकिन जैसे ही साइड के अंदर एंटर करते हैं वहां पे की तरफ हेड इन कर रहे, डैश करते हुए जेट अंदर जा चुकी है. उन्हें कोई प्लेयर नजर नहीं आता. डेविल की तरफ से पीछे से आ रहा है और डेविल शेरफ से काफी ज्यादा शॉट लैंड करते हैं लेकिन मारने में कामयाब नहीं होते. फ्लेक्स की दूसरी साइड से वो आते हैं और यहाँ पे सारे के सारे अटैकर्स, यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा मिक्स मैच होता है. 3v5 सिचुएशन बन चुकी है. क्या चल रहा है यहाँ पे?
सॉल्ट इस वक्त अकेले हैं और 1v3 सिचुएशन में सॉल्ट इस वक्त मौजूद है. यूटिलिटी तो थी लेकिन प्रोटैगनिस्ट डिसएग्री
लेने से मैप कंट्रोल यहाँ पे बिल्कुल कंप्लीटली डिनाई दिया जा रहा है. और प्रोटैगनिस्ट एक और किल लेने में कामयाब. एक और किल उनकी तरफ से आती है और 3 किल्स लेकर प्रोटैगनिस्ट ऐसे ही एग्रेशन इस साइड की तरफ पर सारे के सारे प्लेयर्स रोटेट इन करते हुए आ रहे हैं, कोशिश कर रहे हैं. एयू के साइड के अंदर तो पहुंच चुके हैं. केजेस ट्रिगर किए जा रहे हैं. लेफ्ट एंड राइट उनकी पोजीशन रिवील होती है. किल्स ट्रेड की जा रही है. और इससे पहले कि मैं कोई भी बात खत्म करता, फैब्रिक यहाँ पे प्लेयर्स को, लेकिन उनको ब्लाइंड कर दिया जा चुका है. यहाँ पे उनकी पोजीशन रिवील हो चुकी है. उनका सेटअप इस्तेमाल कर दिया जा चुका है लेकिन ऑन हेड 20 को मारने में कामयाब. फैब्रिक ऊपर से मल्टीपल किल्स लैंड करने में फौरन कामयाब और फैब्रिक ही गेट्स 3 हो चुका है. पोजीशन रिवील की जा चुकी है. शॉट से पुश आ रहे हैं. अल्टीमेट्स का इस्तेमाल आ चुका है और डेविल को अब यहाँ पे पहला मूव करना पड़ेगा. फ्लिका अपना फ्लैंक देखते हुए 2 किल आ जाती डिफेंडर्स की तरफ से. एयू के साथ ही रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं. फ्लिका ही गेट्स अनदर किल. 3v2 सिचुएशन और डिफेंस के लिए इस वक्त काफी मुश्किल है. यहाँ पे अगर इस ऑफ एंगल को कैच खेले तो ठीक है. ही गेट्स दैट किल और आखिरी प्ले फ्राइब्रिक. क्या फ्राइब्रिक पुश फॉर हिज टीम 4 किल्स लेते हैं और इस तरीके से इस गेम को क्लोज आउट करने में कामयाब. And ladies and gentlemen, those were the exciting highlights coming out for Flex Esports. But we've got the other team coming up as well, and we're not going to let them hanging. ZEN2, we've got some exciting highlights from them as well. So production, take it away. किंग की तरफ से और किंग काफी अपनी एचपी लूज कर जाते हैं लेकिन डेफिनेटली यूजफुल हो सकती है. फायर सेल पहली की लेने में कामयाब और स्टोर एक्स अपनी गन का इस्तेमाल करते हुए एसएमएच को मार चुके हैं. मैं कहने लगा था कि 3v4 सिचुएशन बन चुकी. गेट सम डैमेज डाउन बॉडी का इस्तेमाल करते हुए आते हैं लेकिन स्टोरैक्स की तरफ से एक अनएक्सपेक्टेड पीक आ जाती है और स्टोरैक्स साथ ही साथ लेती है. लेकिन अब पुश आ रहा है. इट्स गोइंग टू बी दिस ए साइड मिड नाइट क्लोज एंगल के ऊपर पहली किल लेने में कामयाब, लेकिन साथ ही शूटर और पोकेमॉन दे आर मेकिंग इट लुक सो इजी राइट नाउ. साइड से पोकेमॉन स्टोरैक्स अंदर पुश करते हुए आते हैं अपनी एसएमजी का इस्तेमाल करते हुए और साथ ही साथ गनर अंदर आ चुके हैं कैप्टन हुक को मारने में. वॉच कर रहे हैं. ओमन को एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं आते हुए और हेवन के ऊपर पोकेमॉन को कोई एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा था. यहाँ पे रेस उस एंगल के ऊपर मौजूद रहती हैं. पुशेस तो इस्तेमाल करने पड़ेंगे लेकिन जब पोकेमॉन इस तरीके से मिड पुश करते हुए स्मोक के थ्रू 2 प्लेयर्स एंगल के ऊपर वो रह चुके हैं, वो कोई इतना अच्छा एंगल नहीं है कि वहां से साइड को डिफेंड किया जाए। इस तरीके से साइड के अंदर एंटर डिफेंस की तरफ से इस वक्त 3 प्लेयर्स हेवन में खेल रहे हैं और उन्हें पता है कि इस बार हमने किसी को भी फ्री एंट्रेंस नहीं देनी। साइड पे गनर ऐसे मैच को मारने में कामयाब, मिड के थ्रू होते हुए ए साइड के अंदर पुश करते हुए जा रहे हैं, पोकेमॉन 50 को मारने में कामयाब। स्टोरैक्स दूसरी साइड पे मिडनाइट को ए साइड के ऊपर यहाँ पे काफी यूटिलिटी भी क्लियर आउट करनी पड़ेगी, लेकिन पोकेमॉन मिडनाइट के ऊपर पहले किल ले लेते हैं। 50 स्मोक के अंदर आखिरी प्लेयर मौजूद है और जिस तरफ वो देख रहे हैं उनके प्लेयर्स उनके, लेकिन शायद ये बिलीफ वापस आ चुके हैं। कैप्टन हुक ओपनिंग किल लेने में कामयाब, पोकेमॉन ही गेट्स किल ऑन 50 और इसी के साइड ओपन करने में पोकेमॉन एक दफा फिर से कामयाब। इनक्रेडिबल दिस राउंड, और यही हो रहा है, पीछे की तरफ से पुश करते हुए आ रहे हैं लेकिन पोकेमॉन मारे जा चुके हैं।
अपनी स्टार्टिंग की स्ट्रेटजी चेंज नहीं कर रहे हैं। 1v3 में मिडनाइट हैज लॉस्ट द राउंड टू गनर।
और अगर टेक फेवरेट मैप पे भी वो राउंड नहीं सिक्योर कर पा रहे हैं, या वो लीड में नहीं है, तो उनके लिए मुश्किल हो गया। शूटर की पोजीशनिंग को एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहे थे, थोड़े वहां से बाहर निकल जाते हैं। आते हैं 3, स्पेशली इन दिस सीरीज 3v1 जब पहुंच चुके हैं, आ जाती हैं किल स्ट्रेट खींची जा रही है दोनों साइडों पे। शूटर किल लेने में कामयाब, एक और किल अपने नाम कर ले इस वक्त मौजूद है और जिस साइड के ऊपर वो प्रेजेंट है वो मुश्किल। दूसरी साइड पे एक दफा फिर से किंग ऑन द फ्लैंक आते हुए साइड क्लियर करने में कामयाब, 2 प्लेयर्स को मार लेते हैं और मिडनाइट को भी कैच आउट कर सकते हैं। तीसरी किल किंग नहीं जाता, बिलो हेवन इसमें 2 प्लेयर मौजूद थे। 50 ही गेट्स द किल ऑन स्टोरैक्स, अंदर पुश करते जाते हैं किंग, दूसरी साइड से आते हैं किंग गेट्स हिज 3rd किल ऑफ दिस राउंड। And those were the exciting highlights from ZEN2 Esports. We've seen they've had an amazing journey throughout this tournament and they've been dominating any team that has had the misfortune of crossing their paths. But before any further delay, we've got the 2 team captains with us and we're going to go right into an interview with them, get their thoughts on how they think today's games are going to go. So, Storax and Archie, it's always a pleasure to have you guys. How are you?
We're good, we're good. तैयार हम.
Hello.
Storax, I think there's some issues on your end. Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm fine.
Yeah, so Storax, he's got that cool, calm, and collected vibe going on. ZEN2, they're not really that worried about flex, or are they, Storax? What's the plan today?
के बारे में worried नहीं.
We can't hear you properly.
मेरे ख्याल से आज भी वही होगा जो आप भी पूरे टूर्नामेंट किया है.
Acha, so Storax, he's saying it's not
Very
going to be an
confident.
issue. We're just going to be consistent, get that 13-3 scoreline going right into the semi-finals as well. Archie, my man, are you feeling
Yeah.
yourself today?
हाँ, जो इन्होंने पूरा टूर्नामेंट में करा है ना वो आज हमने होने नहीं देना. आज रोक देना, इनकी स्ट्रीक चल रही है.
So Archie, do you have ये सिर्फ करने की बातें हैं या आज कुछ हमें नजर भी आएगा आपकी तरफ से? क्या कोई प्लान वगैरह बनाया ZEN2 को रोकने का?
हाँ, हमारा जो लास्ट मैच इनके साथ हुआ था वो काफी क्लोज था. सबको पता है वीपीएल में जो हुआ था, इट वाज लाइक ओवर टाइम में लोग जीते थे. पर आज मैं बता दूं, वेलोरेंट की रैंकिंग्स आज चेंज हो जाएंगी. देयर विल बी अ न्यू रैंकिंग फ्रॉम टुडे आफ्टर ईफेस्ट.
मेथिका, बड़ी बातें आ रही हैं यार, क्या सीन है?
That is definitely something that I would be interested in seeing. No offense to Alex, but सारा वक्त
देखिए हम
एक
तो
ही
अंडरडॉग
team
हैं, सही ना? सो इट्स ओनली अप फ्रॉम हियर.
I mean, yeah, it's always fun to see underdogs performing and beating, the legendary team in tournaments. It's always fun to watch that. So hopefully we get to see something like that.
स्पेशली
And-
फ्रेबिक है मेरे साथ. फ्रेबिक आओ जरा. आज
But मैं
our
बड़ी देर
boy
से देख रही हूँ.
Frebic is here.
We've got a surprise appearance coming from Frebic. Surprise appearance coming from Frebic, the man himself, the man who clutched that final game to get these people here where they are right now. So, guys, we've got the interview in, although both captains, Storex, he didn't have a lot to say. He doesn't need to prove himself with those words when his games are going the way that they have been going right now. Archie, on the other end, the man, he did had something to say, but I hope he can back those things up with the game that is going to happen today. Good luck to both of you guys. I want to see some good quality Valorant coming in today.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. I'm hyped. I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. But before we can get back into the game, we can start the game for today. We can start the finals. We're going to take a very brief break. So you guys can't go anywhere. You guys have to stay with us. And remember, some KFC vouchers are being given out. So those comments should not stop. Mithika, she's looking at the stream. Archie is flexing his shirt logo. Storax, he's not really worried. And Fravik, he's in the background flexing off as well. So, okay, guys, going to a short break. We'll see you very soon.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, this isn't like this goes here.
One enemy remaining.
Enemy killed.
Last player standing.
Silence.
One enemy remaining.
I have the spike.
Joke's over! You're dead!
One enemy remaining.
Your life will... Gone.
Spike planted.
I know exactly where you are. Stay down.
Last player standing.
Revealing area. I am the hunter! Shut that. Concentrate over. Nowhere to run!
Spike planted.
Take flight.
Last player standing.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are back to our first game of this final series, Mythica. I'm extremely excited right now. I hope the people watching, they're excited right now. And let's get on with it.
I'm actually very, very excited to see this map specifically. I don't know if this is just for one map or if it's going to be for the entire series, but HSB is playing instead of King.
Yeah, we've got their sixth man coming up, HSB. Now, HSB, the man isn't one to shy away from controversy within the Pakistani scene, and we've seen some issues happening around him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we were going to go live into the game, but we've got some technical difficulties. It's not going to be a good Pakistani stream if there aren't some issues happening. So please do bear with us while we're getting the admins to be able to sort that out. I think Mythica HSB. We were excited to see him playing, but King, I guess, is going to be coming back and taking his position.
I'm not so sure about that. We'll have to see. At the moment, we're just waiting for their fifth man to get back into the lobby. But if HSB is the one playing the first map and the next maps as well, this is going to be something interesting to look at because we haven't really seen him play with ZEN2's lineup before. So I do want to see um how they perform without their core player. I feel like King is a very important part of their team, and I just want to see how this all comes together with HSB instead of King.
It's very interesting because HSB, we've normally known him within the Counter Strike scene as that aim, that gifted player who's got that aim going from him. When you rely on HSB, is going to deliver those 1v3s, 1v4s coming out, and sometimes he might even get those 1v5s, although those are extremely unlikely. But HSB, with the caliber that person has, with the aim that person is gifted with that player is gifted with, anything can happen. But on the other hand, King, he's a very strategic player. On the other hand, Mythica, he's someone that you rely on to be strategic, to not give up a site. I think one or twice I saw him being left on a site alone as the defender, so that no surprises from the attacker side could come. On the other hand, while all of the other team, they were on the other side and they were playing mid. So King, he's a very integral part to this team right now.
That is exactly what I was thinking. Because every single ZEN2 match that I watched, King is someone that could handle a site alone, even against some of the best teams out there. So this is going to be interesting.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be very interesting. Especially we've got a very good narrative going for you here. We've got the underdogs, this new organization, Flex coming in. Although the organization is relatively new, the players, they are not new by any stretch of the imagination. We've got some very old players coming in. Fabric, we've seen him playing. All of the other lineup, they're pretty good as well. And I think we've got the game starting now for you guys. On the defense side, we're going to be seeing Flex Esports coming out, and on the attacking side, ZEN2. I was interviewing Storex in the semi-finals, Mythica, after the game, after they were able to win that series, and I, very comfortably win that series. Storex said that he just wanted to maintain that 13-3 score line in the semi-finals. Is he going to be just as confident going into this final?
That is definitely something that I want to see because Flex is, they are the underdogs here, but they aren't a bad team at all. Flex have been together for a long while now. The only difference right now in their lineup is the fact that Protagonist is playing instead of Archie, who has been playing in the team. I believe actually is one of the core players of the team. So that is one thing that's different in Flex at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this player switch around is going to end up playing out for them during the stream. Archie had the experience of interviewing that man a few times, saw him playing some of those Jezba games as well, and he's a solid player coming out as well. but got a bit of a technical pause coming in at the moment. That's going to be going away right after, but something that we didn't really get an opportunity to be able to talk about, Mythica, is this agent selection coming out from both sides. Anything that you find interesting, anything that you found a bit off coming off from this agent selection,
Yeah.
or you think it's all normal?
Actually, nothing is normal here because we are seeing a triple duelist setup on a ZEN2 side. If you have a look at their agent lineup, it is Jet, Raze, Reyna, Omen, and Killjoy. They do not have an initiator. They are going with a triple duelist lineup. But I think it's going to work out because they are starting out on the attacking side. And the more rounds they get on the attacking side, after that it just depends on their defending side. And as for their defense, we have HSB playing Killjoy, and Killjoy, I know a lot of people were disappointed after her nerf, but she is still a very powerful anchor and sentinel. I believe she's become a more powerful sentinel. The only problem here is that you have to anchor with Killjoy because of the range that has been added to her utility.
Yes, the range has a bit of a change coming out. I feel like Killjoy, she's still a solid agent. You can have her on any side and you can still depend on her to be able to hold that down. And on the attacking side, she can be used very interestingly. You can watch your flanks. But before I talk any further about this game number 1 pistol round is starting, we have ZEN2 on the attacking side and Flex. They're going to be defending in this, and very interesting setup coming out from the attackers already. They're trying to get control in that middle area. We've seen them do that before as well. I think for them that's a very integral part of the map, and that's what they're doing already. But on the defense side, I think they've done their homework. Flex Esports, they're pretty much aware what's going to come out for them, but do they have the aim to be able to capitalize? Does not look like it. Flex Valley is able to take out Pokemon, but they end up losing 2 in return.
This is actually a bit strange. I haven't really seen Pokemon play Duelist in ZEN2. All I've seen him play is Sova. But yeah, he did kind of whiff a few shots there at mid, and this is kind of expected coming from the attackers because mid tick is very important in split. It's the easiest way to get onto a side, especially when the other team has a Cypher to play with.
Out of
Frebic, he's just gonna crack open
Spike
shooter's
planted.
head there with the classic. And
Last
to be
player
honest,
standing.
Ali, I honestly think that the classic is actually a very overpowered pistol in this game compared to the Ghost, to be honest with you there.
I'll get your thoughts on how do you think that is how. But I wanted to cast Frebic a bit, but he's like, no, let's talk about the classic, Mythica. Why do you think that's so?
So I've seen a lot of duelists even in tier 1 plays and stuff. They're just playing classics in the first round and not Ghost, even though you would kind of expect that duelist players would definitely go for the Ghost because they're more accurate. I mean, I agree, the Ghost is definitely accurate at long range, but classics, they're just so easy when you go for those right click plays.
Yeah, when you get up close and personal with the opposition player, and you can, and I think like the armor that you can pick up as well, that sort of has to, factor into the equation as well. On the other side, we've seen something very standard coming out from ZEN2, and I think that these teams, Flex especially, they've seen them. They were playing this map on the semifinals as well, and it was almost the same thing. Shooter takes out Protagonist, and Shooter is not going to waste any more time, but on head, he's proving to why he named himself so. And
enemy
before we
remaining.
could talk a lot, defense is able to get a few kills going, and Frebic! He gets up close and personal, takes out 2, secures the gun, and now this looks very possible for Frebic. He has the spike on him as well. He knows his teammates are no longer alive in A, and this is a 1v2 situation coming out for him with the Raze on some very low HP at the moment.
As you can see, Ali, this is exactly what I was talking about with the classic. He got those 2 kills here, and now he has a weapon to his name. He's in a
One
1
enemy
versus 2
remaining.
situation. He's gonna take down HSP. That's the 3rd kill for him on the board. And
30
considering
seconds
the
left.
fact that Shooter is actually very low on HP, he is going to be able to get that bomb plant. But Frebic has the HP advantage.
Spike planted.
Might be
Yeah, he's
able to
got
get
the
this
HP
round.
HP advantage. He knows where the spike has gone down, but is he going to check this angle going in? That is going to be the difference between a victory and a loss in this round. A clutch coming out or not. He has this ability at the moment.
He
Does
has
not.
no idea.
Yeah, I don't think he knows at all. It's going to be luck if he turns around and checks this angle. The timing, it can be so off, and it is. Freibeck, he could have been the hero right now. Freibeck, he could have been the hero, but he ends up going down a victim to Shooter's 3K coming out that round, which is very important. But Freibeck, he's showing he's got talent, Mythica.
Definitely. Frebic has been a very prominent player in the Valorant community here, and he's showing us exactly why that is. But Shooter, then again, Shooter, definitely one of the best duelists in Pakistan that we have, is also showing what he's capable of. And he was kind of in a very good position to be able to get that round, because the drop accuracy in this game is very different to what we see in CSGO. So I mean, even if Frebic had dropped there, he wouldn't have been able to be completely accurate with his shots onto Shooter. Shooter would have had the advantage here.
Yeah, in
So,
those situations, coming in without the armor, there are just so many angles that you need to check. On the other hand, Protagonist, he only had one angle, and HSB, he was posted up on that, so he's able to get that kill going from where even trades comes out, but even trades are always in the favor of the attackers, and that's what happens. B side, they've only got the Cypher at the back on head. He's waiting for this push to come in, but they haven't really decided. They're over rotating at the moment, Mythica. The attackers, they're reading this perfectly. They're going to start moving A, and that's what happens. Omen, he triggers Cypher's fire, and Cypher knows what's going to come up next. Bally, he gets the kill on Gunner, and Storex, he responds back. He
30
takes out
seconds
Bally, but
left.
on head, they're not going to
player
expect him at the
standing.
moment. On head, he catches Shooter outside, and now they know where the final player is.
That was a bit unlucky for Shooter there because he was low on HP as
One enemy remaining.
And I'm surprised that the round went that way. Storex able to get 1 kill for himself. A 3K for him, but he's not going to be able to get that final kill, of course. He was in a 2 versus 1 situation, and it was definitely in the favor of Flex. Because they did know where he was, but he wasn't aware of both of their positions.
Yeah, the
That
information.
means Shooter, yeah.
Yeah, no,
So-
please, Mythica.
Yeah, so Shooter was pretty low on HP there, and their 3rd player, he shouldn't have died there, I guess. That was a bit unlucky for them. The moment that he died, and you know, they gave off that one dismiss to Reyna, that kind of just put the round in motion for Flex.
Get out of my way!
Yeah, that's true. That is what got it going for them. But on the other hand, we've got the ultimate coming out from Jet, and Devil, he knows where the pressure is being applied this time around. Reyna, she's in that position, waiting for this push to come out from the team. For Bally, he has to be careful. This player, he's present on the right side, but Bally, do not push this angle. If he ends up pushing this angle, he's going to get that angle going for him. Bally, he gets that headshot onto Pokemon, and Pokemon, he does not seem to be having a good game going for him at the moment. But the attackers, the patience is applaudable. They applied that pressure, it didn't really end up getting an opening. On the other hand, lost an agent, and now they know where to go. They're checking out the middle side. This is an area. The Flex, they've been relatively giving this up very easily. But Freibeck, he's waiting for them. He uses his ultimate. That is going to deter them and push them back. That Omen Smoke has been used, but now the attackers are going to push in. Freibeck, he gets HSB. Protagonist is able to take out Storex on the other hand, and Shooter, he gets that trade coming in. This is going to be a 2v4 situation. They're pushing on to A, and Wraith is in a very different, in a very
player
difficult
standing.
position right now. She gets taken out.
Oh, didn't really expect much from Gunner there because he had a Spectre to his name and it was a 1 versus 4 situation. I'm not sure if it was such a good idea to go for that forced buy, especially this early into the game, because they could have easily just gone for the save and then try to go for like a full buy the next round. That was a bit of a risk and it didn't really work out well for them, and now they're gonna go for these sheriffs and they're gonna try to get as many kills as they can in this round and hopefully in the round as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of hopefullys there. Shorax, he ended up committing his ultimate in the previous round as well into force buy, but that's the ultimate, that's the trap. You're hoping, you're waiting that you can get maybe a few kills going. But Frebeck, he's been a boulder in this position. It's been very hard to move him out from here, and Frebeck is not going to give up right now. 4 players facing him right now, tries to get into position, but that Painter is going to be able to push him back. Pokemon, he's here, he's trying to land the shot. HSD gets the shot onto Flex on head, is able to take him out. The stackers, they're in the side, but Fabric, he's not going to give up anytime soon. Gets that huge amount of damage into Pokemon, and these attackers, they're on very low HP for Protagonist. He takes another one out.
Frebeck is just insane right now. He's at the top of his game at the moment. He's literally having the game of his life. You just see him running and gunning, and he's playing Breach, not even a duelist. He's just running and gunning and killing people left and right. He's definitely a player to look out for, to be honest. But I do expect more from ZEN2 here. They are on the attacking side. They have 3 duelists to work with. So, I mean, they do have the advantage, even on the attacking side here. But it's not really looking like it's working out that well. Then again, I'm not really gonna judge, because they did go for a force buy, and then they went for this half deagle / pistol whatever buy. And now it's going to be a complete buy for ZEN2. They have 2 ults as well. That Killjoy ult can do a lot of things, but getting back to the game, Valley is going to get that kill onto Pokemon. I'm not sure what's going on there, because Pokemon, he still is on 0 kills as Reina, and things just aren't looking too well for him. Storix is going to get a kill onto Frebeck, turning it back into an equalized man number. Storix getting another kill. Shooter is gonna bomb his way into the site.
Spike planted.
Turning it into a 2 versus 4 in the favor of the attackers. And this is going to be a retake coming in from Flex. They don't have any sort of advantage to their name. It's 2 people against 4. Omen Flash coming in, but Bally is gonna take down Gunner. While he was flashed. Dismiss working out, but it's not gonna be helping him much, as Shooter will be taking him down. Devil, I feel like he's just gonna have to back off, because there's not much that he can do here.
Yeah, and the 1v3 situation coming out, Mythica, yeah, you can't really expect Devil to do a lot here. If that was Frebeck or Bally going in, they were feeling themselves, they could have probably, at least given it a try, especially since their economy is in a very good situation at the moment. But a very interesting round coming out from ZEN2. They had a very good read on what was going on. They saw a player cross on head. I feel like he threw that cyber cage, and it was more of a one-way cyber cage coming out from him. But unlucky for him, the attackers, they were able to spot him going into that position. That's why they were so confident throwing those 2 explosive into his corner, and that's how he was taken down from that round as well. So ZEN2 showing that they do not completely rely on their aim. They do have some strats coming in here as well, and being able to use that strat, they were able to secure that round, get that round going for them, get that important momentum back in their favor. Round starts, and Protagonist, all I'll say was that was a very risky play coming out from him.
Yeah, I mean, Protagonist was relying there on his Omen, because Devil flashed all the way from B Heaven to Market for Protagonist so that he could dash in and get a few kills. But it didn't really work out for him, because everyone was